Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I'm going to be doing a very brief review of the Mystical Dream Tarot. So this was by Janet Piatolato. I'm sure I butchered that. My apologies. And this was sent to me by Wiser Books, Red Reel Division. And, you know, I had made another video and I just rambled on, and I don't really want to do that. I just want to get down to the basics because I've already created one video that was a very thorough walkthrough and another video showing like my end of my October practice. And so I've been trying to get to this, but I've just been under the weather. I still am. But you know, the show must go on, right? So the Mystical Dream Tarot, first of all, the box, it's not a bad box. I don't prefer boxes that pull out like this most generally, you know, and I don't like when they separate them into two different piles. I find that if they do tend to warp, they warp, or, you know, they don't lay together properly. So technically this can come out and you could put it into like its own, I think it'll work. Let me see. I mean, if you do that, it's not going to work with the book, putting the book back in it. So it is not the worst. I will say that at least for the most part, when you go down using these, it gets all the way to the bottom. Now I've seen other ones where they just do not do that. So you're doing that and then you're putting the whole thing upside down and all that. And this is not a cheap insert. It's not falling apart. It's not crushed in. The quality of the box is really good. So it's just more or less me being nitpicky. But as far as showcasing this on my shelves, yeah, actually this deck, this box, I'll show you, works really well for that because all the information is right on the spine. So it works really well on if you keep your the majority of your tarot decks and oracle decks in boxes, which I do. So the box, not my favorite, but not my least favorite either. So the book is phenomenal. You know, it would have been nice to have the images in full color, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, you've got the images, you can see them. It's just that's like something that I love because I'm a color person, right? And these cards are just gorgeous. So color in them would have been nice, but it's definitely not a game changer. The quality of the book is really good. It's heavy. This is like the quality of the paper and everything is thick and nice and just a quality product. The writing in the book, fantastic. One of the things that I love about this deck so much is that, let me just get this stuff out of the way, is that it doesn't tell you what your dream means. It can help you understand, and it leads you, it guides you, right? And it's not just your run-of-the-mill tarot deck, which it can be. It can be. You can use, like, you know, because all the numbering's there. But this deck goes far above and beyond for somebody that's using it like in dream work, or somebody that likes abstract not your run-of-the-mill kind of artwork and associations. This is very dreamlike, very ethereal, very, yeah, abstract. It helps you to see things a little bit differently, more like spiritual, I would say. And that's the other thing about it. Many decks that I have seen, you know, I'll probably just show these while I'm talking about it. Many decks that I have seen, especially when it comes to like dream work and stuff like that, not decks, books, they want to tell you, okay, so if you're dreaming about a snake, this is what the snake means in your dream. Or if you dream about a house, this is what the house means. If you dream about this, you understand what I'm saying here. This is not like that. This deck is not like that. The book is not like that. It guides you to use your own intuition in order to figure out what that could mean for you, because although some people believe that there is like universal symbology or symbolism in our dreams, and that might be like a bigger, broader thing, but honestly, I don't think that that's the case most of the time. From my own experience with dream analysis and following my dreams and paying attention to, you know, what comes of them, because I date them, because I've been doing dream work for about, intense dream work. Well, I'm sure there's more people that do way more extensive dream work than I have. But for me, it's been intense because I have been following my dreams and writing them down and dating them for a little over 5 years now. And within that period of time, a whole lot of things have been revealed to me, and a whole lot of experience, and a lot of these dreamscapes. I swear, it's like I've seen these dreamscapes. It's like she dreams the same way I do. Maybe that's a universal thing. Maybe. But although I feel like those books so often are saying, well, psychologically, if this is what you're dreaming about, maybe this is what you're going through, maybe these are the issues that you're dealing with, and that could be more of like a psychological analysis of, you know, like as if you're going to a and I don't even know what the terminology, the correct terminology, a psychiatrist or psychologist, or somebody that's trying to help you understand what your psyche is trying to tell you from your dreams, analyzing it in that point of view. This deck did not feel like that to me. It did not feel like a clinical deck by any means, which is important for me, because I think a lot of that, I think that that can be the case, but I think that's maybe only in like 50% of, okay, trying to pick up where I left off because of the boys, a whole fiasco. Anyways, I feel like working through the things that are in your environment on a daily basis, the things that we're taking in, the videos that we're watching, the news that we're watching, things that we're reading. Of course, I believe that those can all pertain to our dreamscape. However, I also think that past lives can, you know, work in your dreamscape. I believe that time travel can happen in our dreamscape. I believe that we can actually get visitations and astral travel and a whole lot of other things that people would consider woo-woo, okay? That, or what is that? Unverified gnosis, you know? Those are the things that I also know. I know with every part of me that that is the case, you know? And tapping into the Akashic Records, tapping into like time itself, this timeline, and maybe even other timelines, because that's another thing that my own practice has taught me along the way, because of me dating my particular dreams and then having that actually come to fruition. Maybe not exactly how my dream was, but how I interpreted it. And then, 6 months later, it comes true. And it wasn't something that I had seen beforehand. It had nothing to do with that. And some of them, my dreams have come true in the next day. Some of them have come true a year later, So I don't think that that's easily explained through what we're going through psychologically in our waking state here in this particular lifetime. I think there's a whole lot more that comes into the dreamscape. And a deck like this feels perfect for that exploration because it's a guide. It is something that helps you explore those realms within the tarot structure. However, but not also in that structure, if you know what I mean. I mean, you can use it in that structure because like it says, all of the numbers, and I want to read something to you, but all the numbers are on there, so you can use the classical meanings. But the stories that are in here and the reasons why, how she tells the story of the cards, and it just, you can use that also to decipher this dream or this deck. I would say also, because it is a tarot deck, you can use the archetypes, okay? You absolutely can. But if you're doing your own dream analysis and you're using it for dream analysis, I highly recommend digging into this book because the book is a wealth of its own, okay? It is the stories, being able to read the stories. There's so much that you can get just from that. And see, the thing is, I feel like it's all intention. So when you set an intention that your higher self knows, and this is a bit woo-woo, but I am a bit woo-woo. I'm a lot woo-woo, okay? Spiritual. So if you set the intention and tell your higher self, I'm going to be digging in deep to the book as well as using my own thoughts in this when I'm trying to decipher what my dreams are. So of course, that card that comes out for it is also going to be one that might have little hints to what you were dreaming about is going to be revealed also in the book. So tidbits of all of that. So it is quite the journey with this deck. I can tell you this is going to be a staple. For sure, a staple on my desk. It's probably not going to be leaving because not only because of the coloring, because of, and I don't dream like this. They say that people don't dream in full color or that everything's not always color. It definitely is for me. I dream full color and it's just vibrant, and my dreams are so, I've even dreamed inside of the dream and woke up. I've just explored so much in the dream realms. Being a heavy dreamer, this deck has been perfect for me. So I did want to, if you want, like I said, if you do want a full walkthrough, I'm going to be putting a link down below to my walkthrough of this deck when I initially got it. And that's very thorough. As well as, I'll put a link down below also to my October reflections video, because I use this a lot in October with a lot of dreams that I had, and as well as my moon work, because I also feel like moon work is also very dreamy related. At least I have found that it is that way for me. Some people have a whole lot of energy during the full moons and stuff like that. I am just the opposite. I have no energy and I'm in bed early, and I don't want to be. I want to enjoy the full moon. I want to do full moon rituals and stuff. It's just, I'm just down for the count. When it's the full moon, man, I'm like heavily dreaming. So, about the cardstock. It is chunky. It is stiff. Honestly, I don't see with a lot of use that it's going to loosen up just because of the kind of cardstock that it is. But I will say, some of my other decks warp, and this one is not warped. So that is always a good thing. And that's, I guess, normal for where I live, because Michigan the weather is so back and forth. You know, one day it's dry and cold, the next day it's warmer and raining. We get the full spectrum of all of the seasons and in between. And this one has not warped. Now, there's a little bow in it. Just a slight one. But what I mean by warp is like where it's like permanently like that and stuff. I have some decks that do not do good in my environment, and this is not one of them. I love that the artwork goes all the way to the edge. I am planning on edging this probably in the blue. In the blue, I think. Because it's just beautiful. That's just a beautiful color blue. And I want it to all match, but I don't know. Something about the dreamscape. Also, I feel there's a lot of blue. I'm always journeying, you know, in my dreams. But anyways, so I did want to read something to you. Let me put my glasses on. And this is pretty much how I feel about this particular deck. Most definitely. All right, so this is from Robert Moss, best-selling author of Conscious Dreaming, The Secret History of Dreaming, and Sidewalk Oracles, playing with signs, symbols, and synchronicity in everyday life. I have met death in many guises, but never as a red fox with a chubby angel balancing on his whiskers. This radically original image, Trump 13, which is the death card in the Mystical Tarot, springs fresh from the author's dreams and intuitive life, and is a sample of what to expect and not expect from her fascinating creation. Janet Piatalato has given us something other than yet another deck of 78 cards. She provokes us to let our own imagination stir in the presence of what she brings from her own depths, and to use her images not as formulaic messages, but as a prompt to create our own meanings and dream onward. Exactly. You know, and it even is mentioned in here. I can't remember where I read it, but even talking about the snake. Maybe it was... Let me read what she said. Not the dream power and all that, but just the beginning part of the introduction. Dreams, beautiful dreams. Phantasmagorical journeys beyond the ordinary. I have spent my life dreaming. Perhaps it was the lack of funds and books in my childhood home that led to my writing, drawing, and recording my dreams. Or it may just have been that I was born to dream and to bring the gifts of dream to waking reality. Wherever the truth lies matters little, for in the end, I simply identify myself as a dreamer. Gosh, I can so relate to that. Pretty remarkable if I give it a thought. If I look through my life from childhood to old age, I have been infant, daughter, wife, mother, widow, student, and teacher, yet through it all, I remain simply a dreamer. True to my affinity with ancient traditions, where individuals spent their lives creating monuments to their afterlife, I erected my memorial stone decades ago. I have a dreamer carved beneath my name. For while the seasons of life have stripped me of many of my former identities, what I began with, I end with, for being a dreamer is my epithet. I like to believe that, when I pass to the golden fields beyond the door of death, I will live in the beyond dreaming. I imagine my dreams may reflect experiences in this incarnated existence. Perhaps not. That is the territory of dreams, eagerly ushering consciousness beyond the limits of our physical reality. If it were not for dreams, discoveries, inventions, and great stories might never have manifested. Dreams bring us far beyond all limitations. The language of these transcendent visions is clothed in many costumes, having no boundaries or hard and fast dogmas to limit meaning or appearance. The iconography of the transcendent, the pictures, symbols, and often rich stories that arise during the intrapersonal trance or dream state often have very personal meanings as well as more general ones, which offer a wide variety in interpretation. Frequently, these images come to influence the one to whom they appear, as well as others who come to view them, such as in the case of the Mystical Dream Tarot. She goes on to talk about the dream power, the gifts of the dream images and the tarot. Getting to know the cards as friends and allies. And then even this part of it, which I love, for this kind of deck, I'm not usually a person that really loves when they change, like the names of, the archetypes. But for something like this, it just makes sense. But if it is confusing, in the book, she's got a whole rundown of what she actually named them. So the Innocent was the Fool. Well, you can see. Master of Secrets, the Priestess of Dreams, the Dream Carrier, the Dream Protector, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Moon Chariot Mott, the Wisdom Teacher, the Ouroboros, Sophia, the Hanged Man, Wise Fox, Temperance, the Sorcerer, the Divine Tower, the Dream Angel, the Moon, the Sun, Judgment, and Serpentia, Soul, or the World. It is just phenomenal. And to top it off, the end of the book has roughly about 30 pages of working with the deck through different spreads and stuff and sampling. Is that not amazing? So, to end this review, it's a good price. It came out in, I think it's like 35 or under. I don't know. That's going to depend on probably where you live with shipping and stuff, and if there's any sales going on. So I don't like to necessarily put price in it too much. Just because of exchange rates and stuff like that with the different people from different countries that do watch my channel. And in the future, that might come across this. So I don't like to really give a price, but I will say I think it's an incredibly reasonable. You can easily get this, and I'm going to put a link to Amazon. I am an affiliate, so if you do end up purchasing this deck through my affiliate link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it gives me maybe pennies, okay? It's just showing a little bit of support if you do end up getting this deck and would like to support me. No biggie. But it is a wonderful resource for somebody that is working in the dreamscape. But it doesn't tell you. It guides you. It's like a friend having a conversation with you. That's what it feels like. You know, it's like tapping into the Akashic Records when using this deck, because although you can use the meanings, you can. It's all here. But there's so much more to this deck than that. It is glossy cardstock. So there's that. But you know what? Unless I'm using it in like this, where there's light bouncing off of it, that doesn't really matter either. And they seem to hold up really good. So I think it's a gorgeous deck. I'm very pleased with it. Have you been using this deck? What are your thoughts on this deck? If you haven't used it, are you thinking about getting it? Either way, if you have liked this video, please give me a thumbs up so that the algorithm knows that you've enjoyed this, and it'll send it to other people as well. And it really helps support me and my channel, and I appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, maybe consider subscribing. If you're interested in tarot and the paranormal and dreaming and past life stuff and all kinds of stuff. So thank you for spending this time with me, and I am sending you love always.